Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the Morning Mindset. Are you ready to get your minds aligned with the truth of God today? I am so encouraged when I look at the map within my stats dashboard that tells me where people are listening to the Morning Mindset. There are people in Portugal, people in Russia, people in Malaysia, people in Botswana, people in Bolivia, people in Canada, just all over the world. People are listening to the Morning Mindset, joining us to get our minds aligned with the truth of God every day. I want to welcome you wherever you're listening. I recently was able to have a conversation with a young man from Nigeria who is in India and trying to get back to Nigeria to take care of his mother. But COVID has made that all very difficult. And many people came alongside and helped this young man, Samuel, through the Not a Needy Person platform. I want to thank you because Samuel, as of August, is going to be on his way back to Nigeria. Thank you for helping him. And thank you for listening to the Morning Mindset. All right, we are diving back into the story of the Apostle Paul as he is being run through court after court after court, in hearing after hearing after hearing, in his defense of himself against these wrongful accusations of the Jewish leaders. And we are in chapter 25 of the book of Acts, verse number 13, and we have a long passage to read, so I'm going to get started. It says, "Now when some days had passed, Agrippa the king and Bernice arrived at Caesarea and greeted Festus." Now Festus is the most recent leader, the governor, that Paul has spoken his case before. "And as they stayed there many days, Festus laid Paul's case before the king, saying, 'There's a man left prisoner by Felix, and when I was at Jerusalem, the chief priests and elders of the Jews laid out their case against him, asking for a sentence of condemnation against him. I answered them that it was not the custom of the Romans to give up anyone before the accused met the accusers face to face and had an opportunity to make his defense concerning the charge laid against him. So when they came together here, I made no delay, but on the next day took my seat on the tribunal and ordered the man to be brought. When the accusers stood up, they brought no charge in his case of such evils as I supposed. Rather, they had certain points of dispute with him about their own religion and about a certain Jesus who was dead, but whom Paul asserts to be alive. Being at a loss how to investigate these questions, I asked whether he wanted to go to Jerusalem and be tried there regarding them. But when Paul had appealed to be kept in custody for the decision of the emperor, I ordered him to be held until I could send him to Caesar. Then Agrippa said to Festus, 'I would like to hear the man myself.' 'Tomorrow,' he said, 'you will hear him.' So on the next day, Agrippa and Bernice came with great pomp, and they entered the audience hall with the military tribunes and the prominent men of the city. Then, at the command of Festus, Paul was brought in. And Festus said, 'King Agrippa, and all who are present with us, you see this man, about whom the whole Jewish people petitioned me, both in Jerusalem and here, shouting that he ought not to live any longer. But I found that he had done nothing deserving death. And as he himself appealed to the emperor, I decided to go ahead and send him. But I have nothing definite to write to my lord about him. Therefore, I brought him before you all, and especially before you, King Agrippa, so that after we've examined him, I may have something to write. For it seems to me unreasonable, in sending a prisoner, not to indicate the charges against him.'" So this is just really interesting. This is a very long story to tell us that this new governor, Festus, wasn't really sure what he should say about Paul's case. And so he asks the advice of King Agrippa, who's the Jewish kind of figurehead king who had come by visiting. And so he's wanting advice, basically, from some of his peers about how should I indicate the charges against this guy, Paul. And in the next episode of the Morning Mindset, we're going to hear what Paul has to say to King Agrippa and to Festus and Bernice. But right now, let's just think about this circumstance. Paul is hearing his own life spoken about, dealt with, etc., all outside his control. He's very much a pawn in a bigger game that's going on. But really, that's not true. All these people, Festus, Bernice, Agrippa, they are all the pawns in God's bigger plan. God is bringing about something through Paul because if you remember, back when Paul was first called, he was told, "You will stand before kings and emperors." And look what's happening. Jesus is doing exactly what he told Paul he would be doing. And Paul is along for the ride. Jesus, please give us eyes to see that you are doing things in our lives and through our lives, in every circumstance, in ways that we don't understand, but in ways we can align ourselves with, because you are the architect. You are the one. The powers and authorities that come against us, whether they be in courts or in civil authorities or in religious contexts, they are not the point. You are the point.